foundational course, we study light, form, and space through the act of drawing. This includes learning how to create the illusion of volume. One of the methods that we can use to study three-dimensional forms is called planar analysis. Artists use planar analysis to observe and interpret a subject as if it were constructed of flat planes. Planar analysis is super useful in describing the three-dimensional surfaces of organic forms. These might include things such as leaves, driftwood, skeletons and bones, or even this crushed milk jug. Anything that has a dynamic and complex three-dimensional surface. So let's break down the process of how to use planar analysis to study and respond to the surface structure of objects. Whether you're in the drawing studios or setting up a still life at home, it's important to consider the space as you gather your materials. Set up your drawing board a comfortable distance from your subject matter and in an upright position, which allows you to easily look back and forth between your subject and your composition. Your subject should be well lit to help you perceive the changes in direction across its surface. Begin with a gesture drawing to capture your initial impression of the subject on the paper. This should occur quickly and with ease, without overthinking the process, taking no more than 2 to 3 minutes. Once the gesture drawing is laid on the paper, a chamois is used to wipe down the drawing. Rather than disappearing, you'll end up with an underdrawing that captures your initial impression of the subject and which you can use as a starting point for your composition. Next, use the methods of sighting and mapping that you have learned earlier in this course to measure the overall proportions and angles of your subject. Now comes the fun part, or the scary part if you're feeling a little uncertain about this, but don't worry. The most successful way to learn how to draw is to approach your drawing with curiosity. Your final piece should show evidence of your process, including your mistakes, and the more you can experiment and let go of your inhibitions, the more interesting your investigations will be. So here I am, looking at this milk jug, and I'm reimagining it as if it were constructed of flat planes. I'm imagining the milk jug as if I had made a cardboard model of it, one that could be unfolded flat. To identify a planar shift, I pay close attention to shifts of light and shadow. Here, the shift from the area that's lit to the area that's cast in shadow indicates to me that there's a change in the surface structure of the milk jug. I will interpret that change through angular lines that I imagine crisscrossing its surface. This process is both analytical and intuitive. On the one hand, I'm looking very closely at the surface of this milk jug, identifying where there are directional shifts across its surface. But I'm also interpreting and reimagining it as if it were made of a series of flat planes. Let's take a look at the final drawing. The first thing that we notice is that it's a line drawing. There is no value or shading. Secondly, the line investigates the surface structure and volume of the subject. Third, the artist interprets the subject as if it were constructed of flat planes. And lastly, the line is expressive and the drawing surface is very active, showing evidence of the artist's process. I hope that you'll find planar analysis to be useful throughout your arts education. You might find that across the disciplines, whether you are drawing something from imagination, modeling a 3D animation character, or even designing furniture, planar analysis can be a useful tool for you to think about the volume of three-dimensional forms. Thank you for joining me in this introduction to planar analysis.